Meanwhile, huge game tonight, of course, as we see those two semi-finals in the Women's Concacaf Gold Cup. It starts Brazil against Mexico in just under 20 minutes time. And then it's the big one at 10 o'clock, Canada against the US women. We welcome in Sebastian Salazar to look ahead to that tie. Seb, it's been quite the roller coaster so far for fans of the US. Could that defeat against Mexico prove to be a blessing in disguise going forward, given their performance in the quarterfinal?
Yeah, I mean, given the performance against Mexico, seeing what they did against Colombia, I think, puts a lot of those worries to rest. It's also worth noting, Dan, that half of the lineup that we saw against Mexico has not been the starting 11 that we saw, A, in the good performance against Colombia, or in their best group phase performance against Argentina. I think this is a U.S. team that's coming in flying off the game against Colombia, not just for the good performance, but the chippy nature of that game. It seemed to bring the best out of this U.S. team. They're flying with Alex Morgan, who was left off the team to start the tournament, really leading the attack. Jaden Shaw is another player who's kind of come good in this tournament, 19-year-old, who I think is going to be maybe a starter at the Olympics, forget just a bubble player on the squad. It's always a rivalry game, Dan, against Canada. It's usually low scoring. It's usually pretty gritty. Canada haven't conceded a goal, not just in this tournament, but going back to late October of last year. But I don't think they have the firepower here to really, truly trouble this U.S. team if the United States starts the back five that they've been using for most of this tournament outside that Mexico game.
History, of course, you mentioned very much on the US's side. In fact, you have to go back to the Olympics. Remember the semi-finals in Tokyo in 2021 when they last won. How big an upset would it be if it is indeed Canada who make it through to the final, Seb?
I mean, it wouldn't be an upset. One, let's acknowledge the state of this U.S. team. Yeah, they put up 3 against Colombia the other day, but they're coming off their worst World Cup in history. Now, Canada, yes, they're the reigning Olympic champions, but they didn't have a great World Cup last time around either. So it's two teams that are kind of in a generational transition. I think the United States is a little bit ahead. It would be an upset, but it wouldn't be a shocking upset because of what Canada is at the world level. That's not to say, Dan, that it wouldn't be a devastating defeat for the United States. This team absolutely needs to build up confidence after this World Cup performance from last year. And after this, there's really only one more tournament to go in April. It's the She Believes Cup. If you don't build confidence there, you're going into the Olympics at pretty much, for this U.S. program, what would be an all-time low. If they're to lose this game against Canada, that's 2 out of 5 games in a tournament on home soil that you've lost with less than 6 months to go to a major tournament. So really big stakes, I think, here tonight for the American team.
Appreciate it, Seb. Thank you very much. Just a reminder, you can see that game live on ESPN Plus tonight. And then a special Football Americas drops tomorrow. Full reaction to that game. And they'll be looking ahead, of course, to the final as well.